Hey guys, welcome back to Vince Bell Custom. So today I'm sharing with you a work in progress video of sculpting cloth onto an LSB. Now this is a Emma Frost Legendary Scale bust from Sideshow Collectibles that I'm converting into Power Girl for myself. I've had this thing for about 2 years now and I've just been working on a little bit here and there. It's not like a main project, it's one of these little side projects I like to work on. Plus I always like to kind of change scales every once in a while because I do 1/6, 1/4 all the time. And, you know, Legendary Scale bust is fun to work on. A while back, I did a Dark Phoenix one with this same bust, and it was a lot of fun, and I really wanted to do something for myself this time. So, what we're going to do is we're going to, like, roll out Aves, and we're going to put it onto the bust, and we're going to kind of sculpt everything. Now, you're looking at the, you know, where I'm at now. Of course, I built out the breasts a little bit more. I gave her broader shoulders, filled up the head a little bit because it was hollow up there. And then I kind of worked out around here where the outfit's going to be around here for now. What I'm following now is I'm following the Mark Newman original sculpt of Power Girl before he sent it off to Sideshow, where Sideshow actually tweaked it. I'm going to kind of try to mimic the lines with kind of my own little take on it. But the only thing is I'm not going to do like the shoulder cuff areas because this arm and this arm is actually sculpted separately, casted, and then it's pushed into the statue. So I don't need to follow those lines and everything. I'm going to try to keep it truer to the comic. But this gives me kind of a guideline of what I'm going for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll out A's. You'll see in the video. I'll put some wax paper down on the floor. I'll use my rolling pin because I got to mix up a lot of A's. You get these, you know, at Walmart and stuff. They're fairly cheap. I go through like maybe one every 2 years because it starts getting all stuck with A's on it and everything. But the main thing is I don't want to roll out a ton of A's and then all of a sudden, you know, I cut out the blue window and I cut out around here and all of a sudden I got like a baseball of A's that's being wasted because I want to sculpt this within 2 hours and not worry about the A's. So by doing that, I think what I might try to do is maybe I might make kind of like a simple pattern or something with some of this like foam I have. And just give me an idea of where I can roll out the A's, roll this on here, and then I could cut out areas. I think what I'm going to do though is I'm going to focus mostly like here. Just like right about, I don't know, to like maybe right there or so. I don't know, something like there. You know, kind of make my pattern. And then what I'll do is whenever any excess of this, what I'll try to do is keep it, without messing it up, try to keep it straight and flat. And then I can wrap it around the neck because I want to kind of sculpt some wrinkles around here. Because I don't want to show too much of the bone and the, you know, the skin. I want to keep it like it's an outfit around it. And then of course, you know, I'm also working on the brooch area too. Because I don't want the brooch down here. I want it kind of like up here. So I don't mind some of this getting filled in. So the goal is, we're going to wrap Aves around it. We're going, because I want it to be a little bit thicker, because this is almost like sculpted skin. So I want like actually like, you know, like it's got like a heavy cloth on her. So, because this will get all filled in. So, you know, we're going to kind of play with it and see how we go from there. But like I said, you got like a 2 to 3 hour window before it starts curing, and it's a bigger item. So I got to kind of move fast in certain areas. So, going to mix up some Aves, and then we'll just start getting to work. Alright, so we got the basic covering on. I took away a lot of that, like, you know, bone structure that was there, so it looks like it's covered now. I was using safety solvent, you know, to get it all smoothed out. I'm making sure to try to make this all even because at one point it was a little bit too far to the right. I know it's not going to be perfect, but, you know, I'm still working on that. So the next step is, now that I pretty much got it to where I want it, we're going to start doing the detailing. I did the wrinkles up around the neck area. The reason why I filled back here is because I'm going to do a little bit of a slip back there. Even though it's going to be covered by the cape, at least around here, I still want to make it seem like there's a zipper back here in a sense. I was thinking of putting a zipper back there from one of the things, but they might be too small. But I think I'm just going to kind of like, you know, the hair is probably going to cover a lot of the back of this. Whereas, you know, you're not really going to look behind there too much. I also did do some wrinkling on the bottom of there. A lot of this is going to get sand down down the line to kind of, you know, smooth some of it out. Because some areas I'm looking like with, you know, you can probably see a lot of reflection because the sunlight's coming in. Maybe some areas are kind of messy. I didn't go too far back here, as you can see, with A's. Didn't really need to. I didn't want to beef up too much back there. I mean, I can if I really wanted to, but at this point, I want to focus more on the center, and I'm running out of time because it's been like, what, an hour or so, and this stuff is going to start getting harder and harder, and I want to make sure I can get everything seamed up. But, I mean, everything's looking good to where I want it. I'm looking at the sides, trying to make sure, you know, things are evened out. So what I'll probably be doing is clean up a little bit more real quick, get set up, make sure I have everything ready to go. This stuff gets cakey at times, so I want to just clean out the brushes real quick again. And anything that's messing up at the bottom around here, at this back parts areas, I don't really care, because what I'm going to do is I'll probably just get sandpaper and just sand that down again. So I don't care about squishing it off to the side and letting stuff hang too much. But I mean, I'm liking it where it is right now. It's looking pretty good. You know, it's the whole idea was to have it like taunt in the center, so it's a little bit thicker now, so it's not going to break and everything. So that's good. It'd be fine to get the airbrush in there and paint. But now we're going to start doing all the seam lines and stuff. So I got to kind of work that a little bit. I'm still trying to make sure this is even. It's kind of not quite there yet. That's the only problem, though, is like when you roll out A's and you roll it on and then you try to add a little bit more like around here, it kind of gets a little bit messed up. So let me get some fresh paper towels. This stuff's getting messy, and we'll get back and do all the detailing. Alright, so it's been about almost 2 hours, I would think, working on it. You can see I did a lot of the line work, I did a lot of the detailing around in there. I'm really happy with it. Where we're at, I got to do some sanding, of course, you know, kind of smooth some areas out. But to get, you know, where I wanted to get it, at least I'm at a good spot. It's possible maybe like once I do some sanding, maybe I might bring up some of these lines a little bit thicker, pull them out with some Aves. I'm not really sure yet. I probably will. But we're getting at the point now where it's almost getting too tough to do some things with it. But I'm going to keep doing some detailing, cleaning it up the best I can. Now when I say build some stuff out, like this piece right here, maybe what I'll do is I'll take some Aves after I sand some stuff down. Because if I sand this stuff down and I kind of over sand in some areas, I might lose some of this detail. So what I'll do is I'll take Aves and I'll kind of bring this out a little bit, sort of like, you know, with the picture I showed you in the beginning, just to make it like it's bunched up and pulled off a little bit more. Because right now everything's flat and it's lined in, but I kind of want to bring it out just a little bit more. So we'll see how things work once I keep doing this. So I'm just going to keep going and just, you know, cleaning up, trying to smooth stuff out as it hardens. What I might do is just take a little bit of like a 5-minute break. Let this stuff set up a little bit more and then come back and keep, you know, just smoothing and keep doing this stuff. Alright, so this is what's left of the Aves that I mixed up. I actually did pretty good. I didn't actually make up that much Aves than I thought I needed. It worked out pretty well for the bust. I rolled this out real quick with some baby powder. I'm going to let it cure because there's times when I need to have flat Aves or pieces I can break and kind of shave up and use for customs or repairs. So this isn't going to go to waste. I can still use it. It's just that I really didn't use as much as I thought, so things worked out good. So we're going to go over to the bust off of the light, so this way we can see a little bit more detail than in their reflections. Alright, so here we go. It's still a little bit shiny. I'm going to let this cure up. I did as much as I could on it. It's really getting to the point where it's really hard, so I can't smooth stuff out too well. But I'm really happy with the detailing so far. When I prime it up, I'm going to see a lot of errors. I'm going to see some stuff. So, you know, I'll have to smooth some areas down around here. So like I said, if I start to, like, even the circle stuff, it's like kind of up and down, up and down, up and down around. So when I kind of smooth that out, it'll come together a little bit more. But like I said, you know, around the neck area, you know, around there, I might have to kind of bring that out a little bit more just to give it a little bit more of a curve. You know, I might have to do it with the other pieces as well, like around there and the shoulder and around here and there. But I really like the way it came out. I'm really happy with it. I think the neck worked out pretty well up there. You can kind of see, this is kind of like what I'm thinking, like it's like a zipper in the back almost, type of thing. And yeah, I think it worked out. Circle worked out pretty well, but it's gonna have to be sanded down. It's gonna, you know, so I think this is pretty good for now. I probably won't get back to this for, you know, like another couple of weeks or so. So like this video is going on throughout the year and stuff. I need to get a nice warm day so I can prime this up. I really need, we're just about toward the spring now. So once we get some nice warm days, I can get out there and I can actually prime it with the gray primer. Because I've been using red primer for the bottom of it, but now I'm going to use the gray primer so I can actually see what's going on. So when I get it primed up, we can come back to the video. I can show you it. I can do some circles on it where I need to sand some areas down, and then we could go from there. Alright, so I had a chance to get into the garage and prime this up and sand it down. Everything's looking pretty good. As I was working on it, I decided to just kind of smooth stuff out, and I'm going to rework those lines that I kind of scored in it's kind of a guide anyway. You know, I'm going to make this line, this one a little bit here, this surrounding here, and maybe this one just a little bit bigger, you know, because it's kind of be like bunched up where it's sewn basically. But one of the main problems I had was down around here. I didn't like the way this was looking. After I sanded it down, I lost a lot of the, you know, stretch marks stuff, so I want to bring them back. This side over here is a little weird too. I got to kind of fill in around here. But I did have some big problems like around this area over here. I had to kind of sand it really down because it was kind of like wavy. I don't know what happened there, but that kind of, you know, had to take that out. It's a little bit scratchy right now from sanding down. But that's all going to get smoothed out. There's going to be a lot of layers of filler primer. You know, back here it's still kind of messy. We got to kind of work out around here a little bit and here. I'm thinking I might actually just Dremel this out, and I might actually put a zipper back here or something, so I'm going to might rework this too. Not really sure yet, just kind of, you know, going. I want to focus more on the front as much as possible first. The neck area does look pretty good. I'm really happy with the neck area with the wrinkles. It just over here, there's a little bit of a mess up around in here. I got to kind of fill in a little bit. Most of this will get hidden anyway because I'm going to have the cape over here. But other than that, looking pretty good. So I'm just going to kind of work out the wrinkles in the area around here for right now. I'm going to keep thinking about what I'm going to do with the back of it. And then I'm going to keep fixing up errors. I lost the light today because it's kind of near sundown. And I usually like later on at night it's kind of good because I get the sun coming right into the garage. And I can turn the item and I can find a lot of errors. And I can find bumps and stuff. So that's what I was doing. I was going to do like, you know, fill it with primer and then circle it to show everybody, but I was just in the zone and I just kept working and I just wanted to keep, you know, going and getting everything fixed up and, you know, I'm just going with it. So, with that being said, we're going to start working on these wrinkles a little bit, keep thinking about, you know, how I'm going to do some other areas, and then we'll just keep plugging away. Alright, so just an explanation, what I did is I filled up that area there. Over here off camera I had a little extra A, so I wanted to just to test it out. And I think this is how I'm going to do all the seam lines. You can kind of see it's still built out, maybe a little hard to see. Of course, you know, I don't like the way it's looking like that. You know, it's kind of, I like it to be kind of like bunched up a little bit. So, and then also I did some more wrinkles down there, but I had to build out this area around here. That's going to get sanded down anyway. Because I wanted the way I like to work it is I like to have it kind of rounded but taut in the center, but I don't want it too wrinkly in the center. I like to have it like a specific look. So what's going to happen is let this cure, and then I'm going to sand that down, and then I'm going to work out all the lines again with like I did over here. So all these lines and stuff will be like that. I'll probably do the same thing with this one here. Maybe I'll sand this down a little bit more, and then I could build this up too. So this is kind of like bunched up, that's bunched, and, you know, worked out. This is going to have to get reworked here because I needed to have this smooth going across, but kind of like, you know, stretched in there. And then, like I said, I'll probably do the zipper in the back. We'll see how things go. For the neck piece in the center right here, I'm thinking I might add a little wrinkles around here like I was doing in the beginning. I'm going to kind of toy with it a little, and then I'm going to do a nice big thick piece going around here like it is now, but it's going to be bunched up a little bit more as well. So it's just a matter of toying with this and kind of figuring out where I want to go with it. I'm having fun with it. It's, like I said, a personal project. I haven't done anything like this before, but I think it's going to work out pretty good once it's all done and I can get all these like minor little details and kind of really work it in. Alright guys, so it's been about a week or two since the last time I've shown this in the video. Just, you know, this is kind of like I said, a side project, so I just work on here and there. I was doing some wet sanding on some projects and commissions, so I figured let me put this one into the mix too so I could actually get rid of a lot of errors. And what I mean wet sanding is you take your sandpaper and you run it under a faucet, or if you have a bucket outside and stuff, you can kind of wet sand it so you don't get a lot of dust. It kind of helps a lot. So if it looks a little shiny in some areas, it's probably just some water left around. So what I was doing is, the reason why I wanted the wet sand it, because like, you know, I'm getting to the point where I want to start doing all the details of the seams, like, you know, like where you attach the outfit, and I want to make sure everything is nice and smooth before I start finishing it up, because if I do all that stuff and then I start seeing more errors and I sand down, I might mess things up. So you can kind of see over here what I mean by scratches. So, you know, when I was sanding all this down, I'm using heavy sandpaper and then use finer sandpaper, but you still get scratches if you're not paying attention. I mean, it may look like they're gone, but they're not. So you can kind of see in the shoulder here, I'm not sure if it kind of shows, but I have these little LED lights, you know. So what I'll do is I'll kind of go around the item like this sometimes on my items, and I'll see, you know, if scratches start popping out. Because you're getting the shadow of the stuff, so there's a lot of scratches over here, so that's telling me there's probably some more over here as well. You know, I could see them. But what I want to do though is, before, you know, I do any more detailing work, I want to clean up the edges around the item. So there's some mess ups around in here, especially down in there. There's some mess ups around here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some like A's, you know, I'm going to use this as like a filler A's project at the moment. So whenever I'm working on some stuff, I could just add some A's around these edges, and then I could sand this down, and I could sand it down this way, and I could get a nice, you know, like kind of corner like it originally had. Like you can kind of see like a corner like this here. So I want to get, you know, nice corners and stuff around the edges, so when I spray, you know, I can spray all my white, and then, you know, at the end I could just go in an angle with the black, and I won't get on the white. So I'm at that point too. And then what I also did was, around the opening, I pretty much sanded this down around here because it was kind of like wavy, and I kind of sanded it all down in here because there was some mess ups in there, and I kind of like, you know, these little stretch marks and stuff, I cleaned those up as well, because I'm going to add, you know, the seam around the opening and around here and here like I did with this over here, you know, just to make it like it's like seamed together like it was sewn and stuff, you know. So I just kind of want to make things as even as possible. I want to make it nice and smooth. I don't want it to be all scratched up, because you can, you know, even though you're using gray primer and, you know, in certain lights you're like, oh man, it looks smooth, it looks great. But if you actually start using better lights and sunlight and stuff, you'll start seeing scratches and stuff, because, you know, this is a bigger item and everything. So that's where we're at now. I'm just going to keep plugging away, filling up the edges and stuff, and hopefully we can start finishing up the details once I get all that done. Okay guys, so I want to put a zipper on back of this outfit, and this is the zipper right here. I have a lot of these Harley Quinn premium formats that I've customized, so I save all the outfits, well, at least most of the outfits with the zippers behind them, because it's a good scale zipper for something like this. The zippers at the hobby store or more for like jackets we wear, so they're a little bit bigger. I know they have the little piece of the zipper too, but I think just adding this back here, it'll just look pretty cool, you know, just something a little bit different. You really won't see much of it because, you know, you're looking at the front of the LSB most of the time, not looking at the back. But just for me, I want to do this little extra piece on the back here. So, got some extra Aves. I'm going to throw Aves down. I'll put on the zipper and then go from there. Alright, so pretty much get the zipper on. Just going to let it cure up for the night and should be good tomorrow. What I'm going to do is, if I try to get a piece of sandpaper and I sand it down here myself, what would happen is the sandpaper might grip it and I might rip this off. It's possible, even though the Aves is really going to stick it pretty well. But what I'll do is I'll use my Dremel with the sandpaper wheel, and I'll just kind of slowly go at it, going downwards, and I'll kind of sand off that little piece down there, and so it's not sticking out. But other than that, it looks pretty good now. I like the way it's come out. Probably what I have to do is I'll have to put some, you know, not silly putty, some of the Tamiya gray basic putty around the edges there and sand down some of that because it's probably like a little bit messed up and stuff. But the main thing is the zipper and the lines are looking pretty good. And looking at the side a little bit too, it kind of sticks out. So I like it. I think it looks pretty cool. So we'll let that cure up and then we'll clean it up. And then the next step will be to finish up the circle around here. I added these pieces. I added this line, this line, this line, and all the stuff around there. So we're looking pretty good. I decided to double it here because it's doubled down here at the bottom. So I kind of wanted to keep it uniform after a little bit of thought. But I think we're looking pretty good. So just got to keep plugging away. So next step is when I get some extra Aves, I can work around this area here. Alright, so at this point what I'm doing is, now that I got all this done, it was really thick underneath here, and I wanted to give it something like a little bit of a shadow under here, like it's kind of taunt. So what I'm just doing right now, it's just some tedious work. Using an X-Acto blade, I'm going slow, kind of cutting at an angle, and then I'm using my dentist tool here, and I'm kind of just like scraping it all out. So this way when I go to paint it up, there's a little bit of a shadow like tauntness up over here, because when I have the brooch over here and it comes to here, it'll look pretty good. So it's just adding a little bit more to it. It's just a matter of scraping it out, and then what I'll have to do is I'll have to get some sandpaper in there and kind of slowly take my time and kind of, you know, sand a little bit. So it just adds a little bit more to the cloth and the outfit. So, but we're getting there.